Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Webinar topic: First-hand experience on how can you start a career in cybersecurity and data privacy. I am Dhanashree, and I will be your host for the day. Our speaker for the session today is Roland Costia, Global Chief Security Officer, CISO, for Enterprise Cloud Services at SAP. Please note, the session will be in listen-only mode and will last for 40 minutes, out of which 10 minutes will be dedicated to the Q&A round. So requesting all the participants to post your questions in the Q&A window. Should you need any assistance during the session, please use the chat box. We have two criteria for the certification. Participants need to attend the complete webinar and fill in the survey and the right answers to the 3 questions based on the webinar. This will be sent to you one day post the webinar. Please make sure you all attend the full webinar and fill in the survey to get the certificate. Talking about our speaker for today, Roland Costia, the Chief Security Officer at SAP. Before that, he has spent years working for Microsoft, IBM, Genpact, Cognizant, and Accenture as a privacy and security director. Here, he created hundreds of integrated security and privacy programs for top organizations in the world. And he has decided to put all his experience together and create some complete programs to show on how actually to start a career in cybersecurity or data privacy, and also how to make privacy operational with technology. He drove security and privacy teams and business units through real success, advised more than 200 top clients, Forbes 500, from all around the world. He's also participated in more than 100 interviews as a candidate, and he has interviewed and hired more than 100 talents. Without any further delay, I would now hand over the session to Roland.
Thanks, Dhanashree. So you said quite a lot of things about me, and I have presented and I had a slide about it. So thanks a lot for the intro and hello all. Nice, meeting you all. I would like in this webinar to give you a bit of let's say different perspective about how to build, how to change your career into cybersecurity and privacy. And I would like to do it in a way that I've discovered it. So what I will tell you and the, let's say the advices that I will try to give you are things that I encountered in my career, are stoppers that I encountered, difficulties, and somehow how I managed to go over them and to be, let's say, where I am today as working as a chief security officer for globally for SAP. So I will just start with my history. So how I personally started my career, because I think it's it's an interesting story that you can learn a bit from. So I was following a technical university in Bucharest, the biggest one. It's called Polytechnics of Bucharest, and I was following computer science. And once I reached that university in my first year, I realized that around 85% is about programming and software development. And I was really not that good at that. And I didn't really liked it or enjoyed it. So I said, okay, what should I do now? How should I be different than all these other people that will have the same the same courses and the same trainings and the same skills as myself, but I don't consider myself as good as they are. So then I started, looking around for different possibilities. And one of my passions from high school was around networking. And, simple security stuff, because in that times we couldn't say that cybersecurity was so developed. So I joined some Cisco trainings that were in the university. And after some intensive trainings, I received an offer directly from the manager of some Cisco academies to become a trainer for them and to try it. They had a lot of requests from the market and from the students, and they had no trainers. I mean, they had some, but they didn't have enough. So it was a big shock, because practically at 19 years old, I was asked to teach people, and mostly, people that are older than myself, different topics that I've just tried to master and to acquire. And yeah, the thing that I said yes from the beginning, and I said, okay, I don't know how I would do that, but it's so interesting that I have to say yes, and I will see how I will do it. And I was training 6 hours a day workshops in that time, 2 times a week. And I think it was probably the period that shaped my career into that direction. And I said that's when I started also, because I had a lot of technology in hands to play with and develop. And that's how I started looking for cybersecurity. Yeah, with firewalls and with routers and switches, how you can do different things, access controls. At that level, that was possible in that times, but I had the best technology that I could have in an enterprise, probably on my hands, in to develop labs and stuff. So I used it to the maximum I could do. And after that, I think I spent like 2.5 years doing these things, and I've get also a lot of Cisco professional level certifications. And then I was hired by Accenture for more like a technical system engineer role that developed also a bit into a consultancy role. So I was handling for Accenture at the worldwide level the networking, security, voice part. So I was really engaged in all the projects that were under that topic. And then I was based in Romania in that time. And I say, okay, let's see also what the Romanian market is able to offer. And I went to a local big integrator where I even developed a private cloud from the beginning in years. And then I was hired by IBM to lead practically the technical security teams and architecture team for the Central and Eastern Europe region. And I practically, let's say, laid and developed the security portfolio from IBM, which was practically creating the IBM security business unit in 2013. And then before going to Microsoft for a similar role, probably a bit more advanced, I had also a transition to Genpact as leading the compliance and audit practices, which probably was not necessarily my best decision of the career, but I think it complemented really well my skill set, and I will come back to this in a minute. And then I was the Chief Security, Privacy, and Compliance Architect for Microsoft, again, for the whole Central and Eastern Europe region, which was quite a complex role, similar to the one in IBM, but probably a bit more complex because I was also in contact with the product management and stuff. And then I moved to Germany. Somehow Microsoft was not able to, I had to move to Germany due to family reasons, and Microsoft was not able to move my contract. And then I had to leave, and I took a position of Security and Cloud Director for the DACH region in Cognizant. And now I'm here in SAP as the Chief Security Officer. Now, why I presented this, let's say, overall, when you are looking for a new job or you are trying to see what will be your next step in the career, I think the main important question that you have to answer is why that company or why companies will choose you. And I'm coming back to the roots. That's the same thing. I was thinking from the beginning. So how can you be different than all the other applicants that are coming and they are actually applying for the same job as you are applying to? And that's a battle. And the interesting thing is that it's a battle where you don't really know your competitor because you don't know who actually will apply for the same role. So that's why you need to develop yourself in a way that will a recruiter or a hiring manager will just pick your name, pick your resume from a pool and say, that's probably the first one I want to speak with. And if I have to go back and speak about myself, what I think it was the main important thing is the diversity. And when I say diversity, I mean diversity in skills. So I was a really good technical engineer, but I have a lot of other soft skills that complement it. I started as a trainer, so then I started speaking in public since I was really, really young. And I developed these capabilities around communication and collaboration and presenting this. And it helped me a lot in working with clients. It helped me a lot in developing my sales and pre-sales skills. And no matter if you want to be a seller or a pre-sales or you want to be a pure technical guy, in the end, this battle we are speaking about here, it's practically a sales exercise of yourself. You need to sell yourself to the company in order to be hired. And that's probably the most difficult part of the process. So diversity was the thing that helped me because I could easily say why I'm a good fit for a job because I have experience in the technical engineering part, also in the management part, in the security architecture part, in the sales, in pre-sales, in training, in working with clients directly from all the levels. So I can easily do any kind of roles, let's say right now that will have a piece that will have different pieces all around. So that's my first recommendation to you is try to diversify yourself. You're a security analyst. Why not going to understand, okay, what it means to be a security architect and do steps to go there directly in your current role. You can adapt a bit what you are doing with things that you could do in another role. If you, you can also learn from the current environment that you are working right now. You can do different trainings around it. And I can tell you one thing that I'm not seeing in people at the beginning or even later on is that they focus on the same type of knowledge. They want to be the best ones in, I don't know, routers and switches. But that's not how they will progress in a career. They will be the best one to do for that job, but they will limit themselves. As fast as you are able to wider your horizon, to know pieces from all the angles, to know how a hacker thinks, to know application security, to know infrastructure security, to know database security, to know how an architecture is being built, how to create a security program, how to manage it. And you don't need to be an expert. You just need to be curious and to engage yourself in projects that are going in several directions. And now it's also a thing related to the resume. And when you explain and when you sell yourself for a new position, is always about what value you bring for that employer. And when you're trying to create your value, it doesn't matter if you were, let's say, an analyst before and you want to go for an architect position. You need to fine tune your activities as an analyst for the architect position. And I'm 100% sure that in what you do in your current job, you will be able to find similarities with the other job, and you will be able to put in front of the employer, those skills that will make you a good candidate for that. Also, one advice and something that I'm not seeing currently, and I'm recruiting a lot, is people don't use numbers. When I say numbers, is when you write your value, try to be specific. When you say you work as an analyst, then what can I get from your resume is that practically, you may be technically good at the role. But what if you may say, based on your activities, that you were able to decrease, I don't know, the security incidents with 27%, or you were able to increase to you created a process that was able to optimize something in the company with whatever percent. Or you work as a consultant or an architect and you worked with top 500 Forbes clients and you delivered projects of more than 25 million in a year. Putting numbers in there will actually tell the employer what's the value that you can bring to them. And yeah, you may say you don't know these numbers, but it doesn't need to be exact. It doesn't need to be even a lie, but you can think about what your current impact is in the company, and around it you may shape your value when will be the next conversation in the next interview. Now, really important, and that's again something I'm not saying, is how your resume looks like. If you look at the slide here, I always get a lot of left part, of a lot of white and black resumes, which are simple, most of the time too long, and they all look the same. How it will look like to have a resume that looks like the one in the right part of the slide. It will practically show that you are really interested to be unique, to have a better design than all the others. And for me, it's, to be honest, if I will get 50 black and white resumes and one colored with a totally different design that I see somebody really took time, investing time in creating that, I will at least pick it first and try to speak with the person, no matter if it's a good fit or not. Probably it will not be a good fit, or it could be a good fit, but it will be the first one I will choose from the pool. And I will try to read. Like I said, then it's really important what you put in there, but how it looks like is, for me personally and for the others that I'm always speaking to, is really, really important. And what I can tell you is, my resume looks like that. And I've done, and that's a current one, and I've done a lot of changes to it. But I think all the feedbacks that I got at the beginning of any conversation was that it looked different than the others. So that's again one of the advices that I gave you. And in the end, I will tell you also that there are also tools that will help you. You don't need to be a designer to actually create it. And I have a course that explains that in more details. But you need to think about that. And there are a lot of people think that it's not really important. I mean, you need to have a resume, you need to have the most important things in there, but how it looks like, it doesn't really matter. It matters, and it matters quite a lot to get you out of that pool of 150 and get you on the table for the first interview. And that definitely, it's up to you later on. Now, again, another important thing I would say, and that probably that comes on at the interview level, is people are not really interested and excited about the role that they are applying to. So I'm personally interested. Yeah, you definitely need to be a good candidate for the role. But if I have 2-3 good candidates, how I separate between them? And let's say the budget is not a problem, right? So, and usually when you go for big companies, I'm personally not really looking at the budget perspective that one candidate is more expensive than the other. I'm looking for the best fit, and how I will separate between 3 that are technically as good as the others. I'm looking for small things probably that will make this difference. And being excited about applying for this job and telling that I'm excited to be part of this process, excited to talk with you. It's one small thing that will really help, and I personally use it to, and I can tell you that it made a difference. Asking questions, a lot of questions about whatever you hear in that conversation. Ask difficult questions about how you be evaluated, how the management strategies is doing, how do they think about employees, how you will work in a team, what's important for them, how they define success for a specific role. There are a lot of questions that are quite open, and from which you will get a lot of feelings in how the company will treat employees and will treat you as part of the team. Now, going further, hot skills, and what I can say right now, there are some areas where everybody is looking to hire, and I think if you develop in one of these areas, it will be the level of jobs that you may find, it will be probably higher, and the number of companies that you'll find hiring for this position, it will definitely be higher. So security monitoring and visibility, that's an important topic, and probably it was an important topic since 3 years ago, but it's still a really important topic, because companies need to have end-to-end visibility. So security information and event management tools that are integrated with different areas like endpoint detection and response, like orchestration and automation, and how all these pieces fit together, that's really important. Everybody is trying right now to develop their own security operations centers or to outsource this to companies that operate in a managed security service environment for security, and they are a provider for that. So security monitoring will always be a skill set that everybody will be looking for. Cloud security, probably one of the hottest. I think there are right now, probably every company has, from a small percentage to a higher percentage, a cloud environment, and the migration to cloud is going rapidly, and the percentage it will probably go higher and higher year over year. So skilled people in cloud security, no matter if it's Microsoft, AWS, or it's Google Cloud, or it's a vendor neutral environment, are really hot these days. And I can tell you there's really a skill gap around the topic. Identity and access management, people security is still one of the important layers, and people are still the weakest link in the security chain. So being able to integrate these concepts into the security strategy for identity, for access management, and also privileged access management will be really important, and develop around tools that go into that direction. Automation incident response is practically limiting the time an analyst would have to spend in identifying the root cause of an incident, in trying to involve automation and orchestration with playbooks and runbooks that will be able to apply actions immediately without even an analyst to touch something. And these are definitely really integrated with the security monitoring part, but that's, I would say, an area that every big organization is trying to invest in right now. And data privacy, which is a separate topic that nowadays comes quite a lot integrated with cybersecurity. It has two layers. One is the legal part, and the second one is the technology part. So how we implement data privacy in all the technology that we use, and how we make privacy operational with technology. And the legal part and the compliance part, let's say it stays on a separate part, on a separate vertical, let's put it like that. Now, are certifications important? That's not a question that I always got, and I would say yes, they are important. They are not important, let's say, always for the skill that you get behind, because first I cannot tell. Let's say if somebody is certified versus somebody that is not certified in a specific topic, it may be that the one that is not certified would be even better than the one that is certified. It may be, it happens. But the idea of being certified, and what that proves to the employer, is that you invested time and you are dedicated and committed to what you are trying to do. And you think around your career, and you invested time to study, to pass an exam, and to actually prove yourself and others that you understand those topics. Just to give you an example, there are vendor neutral certifications around there, and I don't want to say names, but let's say there's one probably that I consider the hardest, that takes 6 hours in the exam, and you have 250 questions, right? So passing it, it's also an endurance exercise. So it's not only about the the technical skills and the capabilities in the back end. It's also about how you are able to process the information in a probably short period of time, and how you are able to react to some scenarios, and how good you can let's say do that exercise in a limited period of time, which is quite intense. So it shows many aspects. On when I see somebody that is getting certified constantly, it shows me not necessarily that is a good technical and and their skills are verified, but it because I want to check them also, but it shows me the commitment that it has. And when you can also think like that, when you have two candidates that are really um, on the same level, on the same positions, then for some companies, it may be a way to differentiate between them. So the certifications are important, but they are not the most important thing, that's for sure. Now, how to start? And it depends on what level you are. So let's say you could be a student, you can come from another role, or you are already in cybersecurity, you experience some things and you want to go to have a bigger move, right? I would say first, if you're a student, then if you already have a job, then try to find similarities with your next career or your next path. Let's say it's cybersecurity or privacy. Try to find things that you can do in your current job that relates to the next career. If you're not able to do that, try to find different teams in your current organization that you can help with, that you can just take a look how they do things, that maybe you can get involved in and prepare your next move. If you come from another role, and also that's a thing also for if you're at the beginning, certification is a good start. It trains you, it sets you the foundation, and then it also proves to the market that you did something, and you are not let's say you're just a student, but you are committed to that objective and you already did something. So when, let's say, you will apply for internship or for a junior role, having 1, 2 certifications in the area that you want to apply for will definitely put you up of the pool versus the other 50 students that will apply for the same role. And then if you, let's say, move from another role, you are an IT system administrator and you want to go for a security position or security engineer position, definitely you are able to find connections in your current role that will go to the other direction, and build your value and your resume to fit to the other role. Try to find things, activities, achievements that you developed in order to try to make them, to adapt them to the new role. Now, when you build your resume, and I forgot to ask to say that, it's about being put it only in 2 pages. The first page always puts the most important projects and achievements that you got. You just put the names of the companies that you work for and the positions, the certifications, the education, how the people will contact you. Have a brief bio about you if you want to do that, languages that you speak. So these are the most important things. So if you have certifications, put it there on the first page. If you have, try to create the most challenging and important achievements that you made, projects, numbers, put there on the front page, that they will build your value. Second page will be for practically getting into a bit more details about your activities and notable achievements in the same time for the career path. Don't go in too much. Don't go more than 2 pages. My CV is only 2 pages, and I've had a lot of companies to work for. Now, another advice: always take what is on the table. No, don't choose promises. Don't say, let's say you want to change a job, and the old company says, if you stay here for 1 more year, we will give you whatever role. That could be, but that could be not. And my experience told me that in a year, things may change. The person that told you that could not be in the company anymore. The company could reorganize in a year. There are a lot. COVID-19 can be in a year, and that promise will not be there. So take whatever it's on the table, and not take promises. What you have right now in hand, it's the most secure thing that you may have. Promises don't really work if they're not in written. Then another myth that I want to say, there are, and you may find this question at the interviews: how much time should you spend in a company before leaving, let's say? And the question comes, okay, you spend time in maybe quite a lot of companies, or you just spent one year in a company and then move to another. Yeah, definitely, I'm not recommending spending like 1 year in 10 different companies. But even myself, I spent, like, let's say 2.5, and then I spent 3 years, and then I spent 1 year in another company. It was not a good fit. And then I moved, I spent 2 years, and then I spent 1 year in another company. It was not a good fit. And then I moved. So the good answer that I always gave to people at this question is that, it's like in life, you always need to date some women because till you get married. And I think after you change some companies, you have a different perspective, and you are able to stabilize, let's say, and to say, yeah, probably that's the company that I want to retire for, or spend my the next 10 years to work for. Because at the beginning, you don't know what you need to ask for, or you don't know how you would like it to be. So that's why unit is like in life. You need to date some people in order to say, that's the one that I want to marry with. I'm not saying that you will not have examples that Satya Nadella worked for Microsoft for 25 years and now he's a CEO. Yes, but these are extremely, extremely rare examples. And what people don't tell you is that, let's say in the Microsoft case, if you are not working in Seattle, I work for Microsoft. If you are not there in Seattle, nothing else matters. You are not able to reach that level, never. So you need to think about different things when you. And my recommendation is, and what's the rule that I'm counting on also, is that 3 years, after 3 years, you need to tell yourself you need to change something. And I'm not saying you need to change the company. You need to practically change the type of projects that you are working on. If you are a security analyst for 3 years, my recommendation would be to try to be a security consultant or a security architect after the 3 years. So 3 years for me, it's the period, or after 3 years is the period when you need to change something. You need to change either vertically or horizontally. You need to change projects that you work in the same company, to change roles in the same company, or you need to move to another company that allows you a better development opportunity. After 3 years, my experience says that your value on the market decrease if you keep doing the same thing. And that comes to the diversity question, to the diversity topic that I discussed in the beginning. Good. So don't have too much time, so I'll just go to the last slide. And I just want to tell you that on CodeRed, I do have developed 2 programs. One relates to data privacy, and it's a full bundle that includes 5 courses. These courses will teach you how to practically make privacy operational with technology. It will be an all-in-one privacy course. It will go from what for example GDPR regulation is, and how you can use technology, and what security concepts will help you in understanding and applying privacy in your organization. And I can say it also will prepare you for privacy certifications that are out there on the market from different vendors. And you will find more details in this bundle. It includes incident response, it includes use cases, questions from exams, how you implement privacy by design, and how to practically even execute a data privacy officer or a DPO role, what would mean to do this transition between privacy and security, And the code you may see here, Data Privacy 20, is just because you are part of this webinar, you get an additional 20% discount for the bundle that you may you can just search for the name on CodeRed and you apply this coupon code at checkout. And the other program that I have built, it's called Build a Cybersecurity and Privacy Career and Earn More Than 150K a year. That's more like a career development course. It's again, you can find it on CodeRed, and it will teach you practically. We will get into more details about the concepts that I presented to you in this webinar: how to build your resume, how to build your value, how to learn what certification path to go for, cyber and privacy, how to increase your value, how to work in a corporate environment, what takes you down, what takes you further. So different advices that I personally experienced, that I put it in this course, and I think it will be a great addition. Good. I hope I'm in time, Dhanashree. So we are opening up for Q&A now. Dhanashree, Poya, I don't know. You are here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Roland. This was an absolutely insightful and informative session from you. I hope you all have enjoyed this presentation. If you're interested to learn more about our programs, kindly take part on the poll that's going to be conducted now. Now, Roland will answer a few questions that were sent to us during the presentation. The first question, here it goes. It's by Carlo, where he says that you mentioned about the CISO training. What are the training exactly? I am studying in a university now. How can I get the same or similar training?
You said CISO?
It's
CISO or
CISO,
Cisco?
Cisco.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cisco. Yeah. I think that depends on country by country. Cisco has a network of academies. So I suggest just Google it for your country, Cisco Academy in your country or in your city. And definitely, I think you will be able to find some names, because that's how they created it worldwide. So it will start with CCNA, like Cisco Certified Networking Associate, and then it will go with P, Professional, and to have a SP, Security Professional. So you can take these courses. Usually are for multiple semesters, so it will be usually a big one with like 4 smaller courses inside. But I would say just Google it for your country, CC or Cisco Academy trainings, or just go for the certification, CCNP or CCNA training for your country. And usually these are, you cannot practically teach them if you are not enrolled in these academies. So they should be a Cisco Academy. So that's how you can find them. For me, it was in the university because they have a contract, but probably for you could be, or it could be in the same city.
Great. The next question is from Sriraj, who's asking, Sir, I am now in class 10. So what steps for making my career into cybersecurity?
Okay, class 10. You're quite young. I think you should start building the foundation. The foundation will be, if you ask me if I was class 10, I will probably be looking for ethical hacking. So how hacker thinks and how they are able to exploit vulnerabilities. So I will be looking for ethical hacking courses. EC Council has a certification for that. So you can look for training around that. I think it's really hands-on, and it could be that for me right now it sounds the most interesting part for somebody in class 10. And this will set up the foundation. So how things could be exploited, how hackers think, how operating system works, where could be breaches. So that's a good part. And usually they teach fundamentals of cybersecurity in it. And then I would say everything that it's hands-on at your level right now, it will have a real impact. You can go even for cloud security, try to go for Microsoft Azure security trainings that you can find online, or even on YouTube or on Nisi console. So you can go for AWS security features, and you can try to learn the fundamentals and what cloud represents. It's practically the future. But I think ethical hacking and this kind of penetration testing activities will be really nice for you, and cloud security will be the hot area that probably will get you out of the rest.
Okay, great. There's a question by Miss Jyoti where she's asking us, can I get a job in 18 years when I'm 18 years age in cybersecurity?
It always depends on you. So I think the the youngest person I know that I think IBM hired, but yeah, probably that's not the what I'm telling that it's possible. IBM hired a 10 years old guy to do analytics for them for Watson, and what I'm telling that's possible. So I don't think that's there's an age, let's say, restriction. We are the big names, and we think about Google and Facebook, IBM, Microsoft. They are quite diverse companies, so they just look for talents. If you can prove at 18 years old that you are really a great talent that they can shape and develop in a direction, that yes, of course you can have that.
Great. Our next question is from Ismail, where he's asking us, would you say, Roland, that it is better to obtain a MSCS or individual certifications if you want a cybersecurity career?
MSCS, you mean master studies? I think, right? MSc, right? Okay. Like I said, it's and usually the masters. I did a master in cybersecurity, and I think it was not so advanced that I was expecting to. It could be that a certification would be more advanced and focused in the direction that you want to develop yourself. It could be that the certification takes not that long as a master, that may take like 1-2 years. And it could bring you more knowledge in a shorter period of time. But again, that depends. If you ask me about a master in Harvard, yeah, then I would tell you go for it. I mean, it's a great experience. But again, it depends on what's the master curricula, how it looks like. I can say that it's about what will get you in terms of skills and what you will be able to do and tell after that, than the name exactly of the certification. But whatever you choose, I think it will show that you are, like I said, committed to the path and you invested in your education, and you have something to put in there on your resume. It's also important what you do in terms of projects in between. The master probably will give you the opportunity to work with other students in different projects, and again, to develop in that way. A certification probably will need a lot more self-study from yourself, and trying to get the labs, trying to implement it in your own environment, your own house, your own network at home. So it will be probably more work and more time invested from your side, when you should even search by yourselves or not have somebody to tell you exactly what you need to do. But I think both are really great choices.
Great. The next question is from Jayashri, where she is asking us about, hi Roland, how difficult do you think it is to switch a career after an experience of around 10 years in a specific field? Do you think companies are willing to hire experienced professionals as a fresher in a field which is new for the applicant? If the applicant is ready to explore a new area, how much employers are willing to hire such an individual?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think employers are willing to hire, but it's also a bit up to you to put them in front the value that you can bring. So what I want to say by that is when you definitely, you don't need to, let's say you have 10 plus years experience in an area, right? And you want to turn into a security position. It's not okay to turn into a junior level position because you already have 10 plus years. The idea is to be able to translate what you already done in those 10 years for that job and how this can help the company to satisfy the position. Definitely it will not be 100%, but a lot of actions and activities that you already done may be similar to the ones that you may need to do in the next role. And I'm not saying right now purely about technical skills, because this could be learned. And if you think, I'm always saying, yeah, if I want to hire somebody really skilled to operate a specific product, then I'm always looking for somebody with experience in that product. But if I want to hire somebody that will operate as a consultant, let's say, or somebody that will operate even as an architect, you just need the background. It doesn't matter if, let's say, I have some products that I'm using and that person does not have knowledge in those products. I can teach him the knowledge, but I'm mostly looking for some skills and the basic foundation that it needs to have. Maybe it needs to have a lot of communication skills, project management skills. Maybe it needs to have customer-facing experience. He needs to talk a lot. So I can train him for 6 months, and then he will jump up easily in the role, and the role doesn't need to be a junior level position. So companies are willing to hire. I can say there's a gap of skills right now, quite a lot in cybersecurity. So every new fresh ideas are recommended. It's also some work from your side to tune your resume that would better fit for the role. I'm not saying it will fit 100%, but what I've discussed before, trying to understand what you've done and how this could translate into some value for the new position.
Great. The next question is, we have it from Jyoti again, where she's asking us about, is degree mandatory for cybersecurity? Without a degree, will we get a job with our job skills, by our skills?
So I would say that depends on the company, but the trend that I'm seeing right now is that all the big companies are hiring right now without a degree. So I'm telling about Microsoft, Amazon, IBM, Google, Facebook. They are all hiring no matter if you have a degree or not. So the degree, I mean, the study degree, like, I don't know, bachelor, master, or whatever, is not important. I will not, and I'm personally not really looking at that. Probably I'm assuming the person has it, but it's not important for me either. So it's not a check that you need to fill. SAP is hiring without degrees.
Great. Next question is, hi Roland, I am from software testing background, and my question is about what certifications to be taken up to start my role as a cybersecurity analyst.
Yeah, I don't know if I can't tell names. And but I can give you some rough guidelines, let's say generic. So I would say the most important thing that you need to have for a security analyst is be able to understand what's happening on systems. So you need the security foundations of how operating system work, what logs will go from that area, how this could be correlated and what it means, how an attack would happen. So I would say ethical hacking courses will be really important because it sets up this foundation and also teaches you the ways hackers exploit these, and also some cyber defense skills, blue team, red team, purple team defense skills and tactics in order to stop this. So I would say ethical hacking teams, ethical hacking certifications, license penetration testers, anything around penetration testing. It's really helpful. Then there are also generic security fundamentals courses about how these attacks happen and what you can gather from all the layers. For example, firewall security, database security, what Windows security means, Linux security means. So there are even some fundamentals trainings that cover these concepts. And then it's important, every analyst works with a security information and event management tool, or SIEM. So it's important to be able to understand the SIEM concept overall and maybe have a hands-on course on one or two SIEMs out there. So it could be QRadar, it could be Splunk, it could be Azure Sentinel, it could be what's in there, Securonics, it could be Logarithm, ArcSight, whatever. You can find a training around that or YouTube videos around that, and you can understand how this thing is implemented, how it works, and what kind of information you can gather around it. Then I think a technology that is really helpful, and it's one of the hot skills, it's called EDR, Endpoint Detection and Response. That goes way further than an antivirus. So it's how to apply some automatic patterns, behavior recognitions, and indicators of compromise at endpoint levels. It could be a machine like Windows, Linux, Mac, or it could be a server, again, Windows, Linux. So there are different, more or less all the companies in cybersecurity, quite a lot are trying to develop EDR tools. So you can find them in Microsoft, in McAfee, in Palo Alto, in Carbon Black, a lot of companies that try to develop components with EDR. So learning about how this works and maybe having some practical experience or a training around one tool will really help you.
Next question is, what is the best area in security for a non-technical person should start from in order to be grounded before diversifying to different niche?
Okay. What's the best way? That's yeah, that's a good question. I would say, let me think. So yeah, it depends if there is some sort of IT experience or not already. If there is some sort of IT experience, I would recommend even going to a consultant-based role. And because, let's say, when you are in a consultant-based role, maybe even in a vendor-related position, you will get automatically a training around some tools that you would need to do the consultancy for. And you would practically understand challenges that customers have, and you'll be able to adapt how those tools will practically go into that. So it will be more like a pre-sales role, maybe, that has a technology background, does not necessarily have a security background, but they will develop the security background once they will be trained in those specific tools. And then once they will start discussing with clients around the topic. Another option would be to be maybe in the back office of a chief security officer, where you could handle, and by back office, I mean, it could be any role. I mean, you could help people from the security architecture, with people from the audit, with people from the risk management, with tasks, probably simple tasks and simpler tasks at the beginning that will develop later on, but will give you the foundation. Audit and risk management, yeah, but still you need some IT experience in there also. But I think that will also give you an idea about what you should look for in an enterprise environment, and what security pieces you need to take care of, but will not give you the technical background, let's say, to actually do that. It will just, for me, compliance is it's something great that sets the frameworks, the standards, but will not teach you how to go deeper into some topics. But it's an option, and probably find a company that will help you also train maybe around some topics to go from compliance. We can start from compliance, audit and compliance, but you can be specialized in a specific area, I don't know, NIST standard, and then the NIST standard will go into subtopics, and you can drill down, okay, how to detect, how to protect, how to respond, and then you'll put technology on top. But yeah, probably that's my answer, but it's a tough one. Yeah, thanks, Dhanashree.
The next question we have is what okay, my career goal is to become a CISO. How do I go about it?
Yeah, that's not an easy answer to that. I would say that in order to be successful as a CISO, you need to have the broader perspective, what could happen and what will be the needs of a security program. So you need to know, and you don't need to be deep technical expert in all of these, but probably in only few of them, or one of them, or two of them. So you need to know what the security architecture is. You need to know what infrastructure security mean. You need to know what database security mean. You need to know what application security mean. You need to know how different security programs work together. What's risk management? What's compliance? What's privacy? How it relates to security? So think about that. A CISO will practically be responsible for the strategy of the whole organization in terms of cybersecurity, and depending on the organization, even for the security operations center and the security delivery and everything in there. So first, you need to have the broader picture, how all these work together. Either you need to work in some of them, or you need to work with clients, consulting them in how to build or to develop these practices. But I would say that you need to have technical experience in some areas, then to move in a more like architect role, where we give you the overall perspective of what needs to happen. You need to also be, from my view, working for a vendor, for a company like that produces some, like Microsoft, like Amazon, like Google, like whatever, IBM, or a cybersecurity vendor, doesn't matter, will give you the perspective to work with multiple clients in the same time, so you can see how multiple clients implement things and have their programs designed, and you can learn from them, no matter if you are proposing only some tools. And then you can work for a company by itself, being an internal employee and trying to develop an area of the security program. So I think these are somehow mandatory components. So having the technical background in one area, going to work even for a vendor to give you the perspective of multiple clients, and also going back internally and working for the client directly for the company. I don't know, let's say, doesn't matter, like SAP, it's a mix. You work for Coca-Cola, I'm just giving you an example, right? So you are internal employee, and you work in a security office or whatever, you see how a big company integrates all these pieces, and you are involved in several areas. and then you can make the move. So that's my advice: getting the bigger perspective by being technically skilled in some things, not in all of them. You cannot be. Having the perspective by working as an architect, try work also for a vendor, also in an internal position, and then try to move accordingly. It would be that in order to make the step, that you need or either to grow to the position in the organization, but if you are too low right now, that will not happen. So you need to jump to different organizations in order to that happen in the next 10 years or something, or I don't know. But in order to do fast steps, you will need to change some organizations. Otherwise, growing in a single company from a slower level to a bigger one, it will take quite a lot of time, and you need to be lucky to do it, but it may work.
Great. So due to time crunch, this is going to be our last question for today. What are the opportunities in application security and penetration testing?
Um, what are the opportunities? Well, there are different, I would say, maybe two areas. One is working in specific company in the department of application security. Usually every company that deploys applications, develops applications for their own, or they use applications for their own, either outsource the parts of application security, or they have their own internal people to do that. Ethical hacking, penetration testing, hacking simulations, red team, blue team, purple team exercises, tabletops, and all this. So you can find these kind of roles, penetration testing roles, probably in an internal role, in an internal position. You can work for a managed security service provider or a consultancy company. I don't know, for example, Accenture, Big Four, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, KPMG, PwC, even IBM. They offer services to top customers, and one of these services are in the area of application security. So you work for a consultancy company or a company that offers services, and you are dedicated to work with multiple clients in the same time on projects that relates to application security. Or you can even be a freelancer for that. So you can look for, I think, a lot of freelancing opportunities in freelancing online websites for application security and ethical hacking. But probably, I don't know your experience, but you need to have some sort of experience in order to be a freelancer in that space. But I think the most usual ways is working for a service provider or a consultancy company that offers these services to different customers, or working directly in an internal position that goes into that. But I would say most of the times it will be a consultancy company that offers these services for customers. Danashwe, I don't know if you said it's the last one.
Thank you, Rod. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So one thing I would like to mention before we end the webinar, uh, as Roland mentioned about the exclusive limited period offer just for the attendees, uh, do do take a look at the adopting privacy and adopting security and privacy in data bundle at 20% off, and the coupon code has been mentioned by Roland on the screen. That's data privacy 20. Thank you, Roland, again for answering those questions and for that great presentation. It was a great pleasure to have you today with us. So this concludes the webinar. Thank you all for attending. We hope that you've
Thank you.
learned and enjoyed this presentation. Now you all can end the webinar. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Danashwe. Thanks all. Bye bye.
Bye.